How is Colin finally going to notice Penelope's crush on him? Have you also wondered what will happen to the friendship that Eloise had with Penelope? Keep watching as Nicola revealed so much lately. An overwhelming announcement. For someone who takes the whole ton of Bridgerton by surprise through her gossip, it's incredible that any news at all could overwhelm her. Nicola Coughlan confesses how the news of Pollen's happening shook her to the core. And it's also mentioned that it's been a big deal to keep the secret all to herself. That's weird considering how Lady Whistledown hates holding on to secrets and is always ready to spill them. The announcement on her Instagram that sent the whole internet into fever in May 2022 reads, "Like Lady Whistledown, I've been keeping quite a big secret for quite a long time, but I can finally tell you that Bridgerton Season 3 is Colin and Penelope's story." Nicola revealed how she's kept it all along on an episode of the Variety Awards Circuit podcast. She said, "I had a moment because I've been keeping the secret for so long, that right before, because I was given the job of announcing, which was so lovely." Also, a little reason why she might have been overwhelmed is because she's going to be the leading star in the romance of Bridgerton 3. For such a steamy and demanding position, who wouldn't be? And she shared another reason why she thinks that, saying, "It's funny because I always wanted to be an actor. I started doing that when I was super young, but I never saw myself as like the lead of the romantic drama." Then she can't figure out how she's going to be all of that romantic figure on a big show like Bridgerton because she's never prepared her mind for a time like this. In her words, "It was just not on my list of things that I thought I would ever be doing, so it's quite mad now to just be in that position and on one of the biggest shows ever. It's amazing." This announcement is not only overwhelming for Coughlan, who was delighted to have passed the message across, but the fans are a bit over the top for this announcement as well. It finally sounds like a dream come true, though, to see one of the Featheringtons marry well. Bridgerton 3 is the beginning of all the good and chaotic moments of the past. Would Lady Whistledown be able to gossip about Pollen? Oh, how awesome would that be, as the fans can't wait to see more of what high society brings. Anxiousness about intimacy scenes. Nicola might be looking for a way out of playing some tricky and steamy scenes, as she's so scared. Remember, she's never played a romantic role before, and on a show like Bridgerton, she can't hide her anxiety. Despite her fears, when asked if she'd be ready to film intimate scenes given no choice, she said, "I'm gonna have to be." But it doesn't end there. Nicola really might want to get some details out while filming. In her interview with Digital Spy in March 2022, she said, "I think I'm genuinely, and I'm not kidding, going to ask Shondaland for a special family-friendly cut, because I think it's just embarrassing enough watching the scenes that I'm not in there like that." Fans know how racy and steamy some scenes get in Bridgerton, and Nicola wants a break. That might not be so fair on her predecessors who gave the fans a show. She accentuated how serious she was in her interview by saying, "I'm sort of like, haha, so I think I'm going to put a special request in my contract to be like, can we just get one that's the PG version, like maybe a little kiss and then we're good, because I've read the book. A little kiss might not be as bad, but isn't that like she's still being friend-zoned by Colin Bridgerton?" The fans can be calm because Nicola might be speaking under pressure based on how intense those scenes might be. Knowing how Bridgerton operates, the fans can count on more racy scenes with Nicola, of course. And there's one scene she wants you to keep in your imagination, she said. There's a scene in the carriage, and it's just if they're sort of arguing and then it all gets very romantic, shall we say. But I think it will be such a good scene in the show. It terrifies me to think of filming, but I think it will be really great. In the carriage, that's a new hot and exactly the content Bridgerton thrives on. So Nicola might be frightened, but she's bringing on a whole steamy show. Nicola leans on Ashley. Nicola is getting ready and taking lessons from the proper places to put on the best show for Bridgerton 3. She's looking to Simone Ashley to give her tips on excellent romantic playouts. It isn't new for actresses to look at their predecessors for lessons on how to get things right. Ashley, who was also available to speak to the Variety Awards Circuit podcast, mentioned how she also learned from Phoebe Diviner's footsteps. Ashley, while speaking on how Phoebe helped her to give a tremendous show in Season 2, said, "Phoebe honestly has been such a rock for me, and she really created like a safe dynamic between us where we could be vulnerable and express my doubts or my insecurities or my highs and lows." For Phoebe to have set such a good example for Ashley, then Nicola needs to not be afraid, as the fans are sure Ashley is the best she could learn from. They all see how amazing she was in her scenes in Bridgerton 2, as she didn't only keep Anthony Bridgerton's heart racing, but the fans as well. So, as Nicola said, she's already taken advice from Ashley, and the fans are pleased because it's definitely gonna be hot. Escaping the friend zone. Now that the fans are certain that Bridgerton 3 is about a full-blown romance between Penelope and Colin, it's important to know how she breaks out of that friend zone. Penelope has always been longing for Colin, but he never seems to see it. It became worse in season 2 when Penelope overheard Colin talking to his friends about how he'd never see her beyond a friend. That was extremely hurtful, and Nicola will hopefully take a break persuading Colin that he was mistaken. She mentioned that the only way they could work out is if Penelope stops idolizing Colin. She said, if they're going to have any type of relationship, it's not healthy for her to see him in that way. She's got to see him flaws and all, and she currently doesn't. Getting to see how this long-time crush transitions quickly to romance would be fun to watch for the fans. Fitting and filming has begun. Nicola has been throwing hints and has continued to tease the fans for a very long time. On her Instagram in May 2022, Nicola uploaded a card on her story with the words, "Fitting with Penelope." And as if that wasn't enough, she wrote underneath the post saying, "You are going to lose your mind." Now the fans should be afraid, as Bridgerton might be transporting them to a different dimension that can be hard to recover from. Then she went on to confirm they'd already started with production, and she made a revelation about costumes that you wouldn't believe. She said, "We've already started because it takes such a long time. They've made every single costume from scratch, including all the supporting artists. Is it a wonder that the outfits in Bridgerton always stand out? Making everything in the most detailed way speaks so much about the show. Aside from the beautiful faces, the colourful clothes are also something to watch out for." She also talked about how Luke Newton has transformed, saying, "I saw a picture of Luke Newton from a fitting today, and they've taken him from boy band to leading man in a major way." Like, really, the fans can't wait to see Colin look so elegant this season. But then, that could also mean competition for Nicola, as there'd be ladies ready to throw themselves at him. Return of Eloise and Penelope. It was the biggest fight of the season 2 finale, as Eloise found out her friend had been keeping a very big secret from her. What could be worse than finding out that Penelope is indeed Lady Whistledown? Although she tried to apologise, Eloise wouldn't hear anything of it. Even if the fans can be so certain of Eloise's loyalty and that she's able to keep Penelope's secret, can they become friends again in season 3? Would Eloise be pleased to find out Penelope had loved her brother all this time? There are too many things to unravel, but it seems they can only keep breaking this great friendship apart. Nicola, when speaking to ET's Laura Zimmer, said, "They have to reconcile because it would break my heart if they didn't." Also, I think in deep, lifelong friendships, there are moments like that when you do fight and you've just got to learn to grow a little bit. But I think Penelope has got some apologising to do. She did try it in season 2, but it didn't work then. Who's to say it'll work in season 3, especially now that Penelope's coming for Colin? Eloise's rage will continue to grow as she sees Penelope betray the ideology and hatred she thought they shared for the Ton and its matchmaking deals. Nicola, however, expresses what she wants for Penelope when she says, "I do want her to find love, and I don't want her to stop writing Whistledown. I want her to have everything." The fans thought that after doing Louise dirty like that, she'd stop being Lady Whistledown, but it looks like Penelope isn't ready to give anything up. Hey, it's her season after all. Nicola isn't about to back down now, because how often does a Featherington get lucky? What do you think of Nicola's revelations? Share your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching.